Good morning. How you doing? Great to see you here. Mm. It's Wednesday, guys, middle of the week, and what I like to call Writer's Wednesday, because that's what we do here on this page. We talk about telling your stories, about writing great content, and about sharing it with others. So, if this is your first time to catch me live on a broadcast, hello, welcome. My name is Ronnie Harden. By trade, I am an editor, I am a writing coach, I am a book producing coach. I love helping self publishing authors craft their stories, polish their stories, get them together. I'm also really interested in encouraging you, if you've never thought about writing, or if you maybe wanted to dabble your toes a little bit in the waters, this is a great time to do that because November is a special month every year for writers around the world who are um, uh, trying their hand at writing or they have a goal in writing. So I have my mug. As you know, every time I come live, I have a different mug to share with you. And this is the mug I use when I'm working on NaNoWriMo. Now, you may be going, what the heck is NaNoWriMo? So NaNoWriMo is a nonprofit organization that started, but it has an annual event that helps people flex their creative writing muscles and work towards a goal in writing something. So maybe you have a project that you're writing. Good morning, Stephanie. So here's someone who talk about a NaNoWriMo champ. Stephanie did it. She won it. You actually win in this competition, and you set yourself a goal. Now, the goal for National Novel Writers Month. So that's what NaNoWriMo stands for. And the goal is 50,000 words in 30 days. 50,000 words in 30 days. That breaks down to roughly 1,650. It's really 1,667. So let's just for grin say 1,670 words per day for 30 days straight. Now, for the really excited, planner who's already got their novel planned out and they've already kind of started on it, this is a great month to really flex your writing muscles and push your goal forward. But what about new folks? Maybe you're on this broadcast and you're watching me thinking, okay, why in the world would I even want to do that? Well, let me just pose something to you. Do you have social media? Do you have presence on Facebook and TikTok and Instagram and Twitter? Or maybe you're just doing two of those. Maybe you're not doing hardcore all of them. Maybe you're just doing one. But if you are posting consistently on social media, you're a writer. I'll let that sink in. If you're posting every day, maybe you post some on Twitter and then you post something on Instagram and then maybe you post something on Facebook. Maybe you create some content on TikTok and put it in a video. All of that is content creation. All of that is you setting aside time to make something creative and put it out there. What if you really got focused and really put a lot of that writing together and actually produced something? Not just 30-second videos, but something that really is a testament to either something in life that you've overcome. Maybe you have a really fun and creative story idea that you want to put out there. Um, maybe you work in a field where you can really instruct and help people learn how to manage money, apply for a loan for a house, learn how to build something, learn how to travel and go experience places. Maybe that's something you've done and you want to share that with others. There's all kinds of ways that you can share your content. And so this is a great time of year. I love this time of year. In fact, I am going to work on NaNoWriMo myself. So I'm encouraging you that if you want to try this for the first time, this is a great time to start. Now, it starts November 1st. And so here we are, we're 6 days ahead of the game. So, what I want to do is break down some easy steps for you to make writing easier so that it actually becomes something fun. And once you realize that you're doing it and that you're doing it consistently, it becomes easy and the creativity will flow. Stephanie, right, Stephanie, we all have a story. In fact, Stephanie, she's in my book club. Love her. I mean, she's just all sass. Well, I just finished working on a book that Stephanie is publishing at Christmas time. And as she told us in book club last night, she has the novel that she won, NaNoWriMo. You have to tell us what year. I'm trying to remember what year you said you did that, Stephanie. But she did NaNoWriMo, 50,000 words. She busted out a novel and she's kind of been letting it sit there and simmer. Like, maybe she'll go back and revisit it. Maybe she'll touch up some things. Maybe, but that was a great creative exercise because she's publishing a Christmas romance story in December. She's working on another one, kind of a Valentine's Day theme. She's creating a new series surrounding this one estate. And I think it's great. 2012. Stephanie, 2012. So she did it in 2012, guys. And that's been sitting there for 10 years. Who knows? But Stephanie is still writing. She's publishing in December. Who knows that she may pull that novel out, dust it off, see if maybe some of those themes in it are relevant to today. Maybe she's waiting for the right time to drop this one. But she's been working on her plans. So I want to kind of break down for you just some things you can do to prepare. We're 6 days ahead. Now, some people I know, there are two kinds of people who come into NaNoWriMo. And what I'm doing is I am calling this month National Novice Writers Month. Because maybe you are not writing a novel. Maybe you just want to get started and try this. Okay. So I'm going to be doing it, guys. And I'm going to be posting daily where I am in my own writing goal. And I'm going to be sharing that with you to encourage you. So if you want to come along for the journey, let me know. So I'm calling it National Novice Writers Month. For those who are brand new, I'm going to be sharing some things that I do as I'm writing. I'm going to be encouraging you each day with a different little writing prompt or writing tip to help you along your journey. And I hope that you're going to possibly join in. So you can follow me along here, follow me on my social media. I'll be sharing that this month and you can join in. Now, the first thing you want to do, and this is just me, again, we're 6 days out, guys. How many of you know there's two kinds of people who do things? There's planners and then there's pantsers. What do I mean by pantsers? Like pants, like in fly by the seat of your pant. Some people, like when we go on a trip, when Michael and I go on a trip, we plan for them. We put them on our calendars. We know when we're going to be traveling and we start prepping. So today, I'm leaving tomorrow. We are leaving tomorrow. We're going out to California. It's so funny how we either have to go visit friends or we see family and we go out to California right about this time of year. And it provides me with just a great environment to be in, to be writing. So what I want to do is I want to plan for that. Okay. Some people, they're pantsers. They fly by the seat of their pant. November 1st comes along and they sit down and they just start blowing out content. That's great. I salute you for that. I think that's wonderful. If you are a pantser and you write that way, good on you. Again, the goal is 50,000 words. So however you get there, this is how I get there. So I'm a planner. I want to sit down and make sure that, okay, if I'm dedicating these next 30 days, and that's what it takes, guys, you have to really decide, do I want to do this for 30 days? And how about instead of looking at it that way, let's say I want to try this for 30 days. I really want to try to develop a writing habit. So you are in luck. So here's something I want to share, and I'll be sharing this on my socials if you want to get a copy of this. But I created a NaNoWriMo planner for myself. I love when I have visual reminders that help me. I've also put reminders in my phone. I have a task list app. It's called Streaks that I use for writing. And what it does is it prompts me every day, have I achieved my writing goal for the day? What is my writing goal? Now, let me tell you a little bit about the book that I'm working on. So I have a very extensive coffee cup collection. I have gathered these cups over the last, I would say, 35 years of my life through extensive traveling I did with my late husband, who was a lighting designer and did, tours for artists. And so we traveled on the road. So places that we went, gifts that people have given me. I always tell people, if you want to give me a cool gift for Christmas or birthdays or whatever, Christmas ornaments are fantastic, and coffee mugs, because you can only have so many t-shirts from places that you visit, right? But a coffee mug, every time I pull this down out of my counter, and of course, now I have like a china cabinet in the garage and also an area in the house, actually 2 areas in the house where we have coffee mugs. And so I can pull down that mug and it makes me think of either where I was or a story. There's a story connected to every mug. So for this mug, right? I'm going to talk about my writing experiences, of how writing has helped me break through some moments in my life, has changed the course of and trajectory of my life through writing. Writing has been at the core of everything I've done and every job that I've had and things that I've done. So writing. So I'm going to be writing the story behind all of my coffee mugs. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to, let's see. Oh, such a good idea. You're usually a pantser, but this year you've been prepping hard. That's great, Stephanie. That's great, because when we have a plan, it sort of helps us know what we're going for and working for, and it doesn't seem so daunting. Like, instead of sitting in the chair going, well, what am I going to write about? I can sit down and look at this and say, I'm writing about this. So what I'm going to do with my calendar is I'm going to pick 30 mugs, because I have an extensive mug collection, guys. I think the last time I counted was 180 mugs. I'm going to do another count. That's going to be part of what I'm doing when I write about this, is I'm going to write sort of like the intro to my book. So I need to know how many total mugs I have. And that might be changing by the time I actually publish. Or I may have to just decide to cut it off at a certain point and write about the first 100 mugs and maybe do volume 2, mugs, whatever. That's a great idea. In fact, I ought to do that. Instead of trying to write about all 180, I'm going to write about 30. So I'm going to pick 30 mugs that I'm going to write about, and I'm going to put each mug in the calendar. So I'm going to put one for every day. That way I know, okay, on November 1st, I'm writing about my NaNoWriMo mug. I don't have any other of my mugs here in the room with me, but I can take, then I'll have the next mug. And okay, so that I already know the stories I'm going to write about each mug. So for you, if you get a calendar, just get a calendar. I can send you this one. I'll have this free to download off my site. But if you want to have a plan, just print out a calendar page. And on each day, try to outline your story. Or maybe just try writing about some topics. Things that come to mind. Is there a family memory that comes up for Thanksgiving that you love? The holidays are coming up. Are they stressful for you, or are they fun for you? For the holidays, are there some recipes or traditions that you have that you love to do every year? Write about those things. Just give yourself 30 different things that you could write about. It could be a collection of stories that you write. And again, we're just doing this to get you started. Now, if you're a little bit more familiar with writing and you have a story idea, take the time now to look at the calendar and sort of outline your story, right? Outline your story and see if you can sort of give yourself in the weeks, right? Over a course of days, a kind of a flow of where you want to be with your story. from and if you're starting a new story, write on November 1st, write the beginning or the opening scene, and maybe on the 30th, what is going to be your ending scene? So, where does your story start? Where does it end? And how are you going to get there? Right? And you can map that out over the month. So, if you start doing that now, you'll also be able to set aside time every day. Okay. So I'm going to share with you just some things that will help you. I'm kind of getting into those topics, but I want to give you some things that you can do that will help. So, number one, get your priorities in order. If you know you're going to be dedicating time every day to writing, you're going to have to set that in your schedule. So, if you are working a 40-hour day, if you are a student, right about the month of November, we start getting close to exams. So if you're a student, you're going to be preparing for that. You need to really block time on your calendar. And so that's why it's important to sit down and really plan. Because what happens is if you're trying to fly by the seat of your pants and you're going along and then boy about day 10 things start ramping up, holiday things start ramping up, Thanksgiving is at the end of November. So how do we plan on that? Maybe you write about your Thanksgiving experience. Okay? Put that on your calendar. Include that in your story. If in your novel, is there a holiday season that's going on in your story? Write about that. Put that down on your calendar that you're going to include that in there. But it helps you to get your priorities in order. So, some helpful things that I saw that I thought were really helpful in prepping for NaNoWriMo is stock up on writing fuel. If you're gonna be planning to write every day, and what does that look like? Is it early in the morning, first thing when your head is fresh? Is it, when you come home from work? Are you maybe here's something that is helpful. If you work a full-time job and you don't really, um, have time to sit down and say, "Write for 30 to 45 minutes," break that up in smaller chunks through the day, okay? So you're gonna get your priorities in order. Again, set aside a dedicated time to write. When is that? And if you do it for 30 minutes, okay, if you have to write about 1,670 words, or if you just want to sit down and put the clock on and write for 30 minutes. And when I say write, don't worry about editing yourself. Don't worry about, just let the words come out. Don't worry about if they're grammatically correct. Don't worry about if they're in great structure. Don't even worry about capitalization. Just write it down. Get it out there. Um, you started a novel last year, been stuck at 20,000 words for months. You can't figure out if you want to jumpstart that again or try something to get the juices flowing. You know what? That's a great listen, Victoria. You know what? You might start doing it to just get the juices flowing and find that you break through that writer's block wherever you are in the story and help open up the gates to give you some direction for where your novel is headed. Okay. So really, I would just start writing for the sake of doing it consistently. Okay. And like I said, I'll be putting up daily writing prompts. I'll be giving you different ideas for things, or maybe you sit down and if you spend time with the Lord in the morning, or if you just, whatever you do to center yourself for the day, I always pray, Lord, you know the plans you have for me, and I know the plans that I have for me. Please help me align those plans so that we produce something great today. That's kind of what I try to do. And so maybe it's just kickstarting yourself of doing it, of sitting down and writing. Refresh yourself on what your novel was about. Maybe scan it over to look at, where are you in the process? Outline maybe the major bullet points of where you are in the story flow and kind of see where you want to head. Maybe that might give you some ideas. But I think just sitting down writing consistently every day will just help prime the pump, so to speak. So, you're more than welcome to do that. And that's what I'm going to be doing for the month of November. But in these next few days, I'm going to be talking about prep things that we can be doing. So when I say, getting ahead and trying to plan for that. So I talked about setting aside a dedicated time. Try to come prepared with a general plan of what you're working on. That's why I have the calendar up. I'm gonna have a general plan of 30 mugs that I wanna write about. Because for me to open and look at my cabinet of mugs and then look at the other cabinet that's, downstairs and then the one up here in the little coffee nook, if I try to look at all of them, it's too overwhelming. Maybe I sit down and I take my mugs from Hawaii and London and when I've gone to England. Or maybe I pick 30 mugs of places where I've traveled and I write about those. But I want to come with a general plan of what I'm going to be working on. So, Victoria, if you want to work on, I want to consistently write again, start there and just sit down and write every day with the goal that maybe you'll revisit your novel and see where you got stuck, see if maybe you can get unstuck. But I really think that writing every day is going to help you get unstuck. It's gonna open up those creative juices. You will find the solution. It's there waiting for you. I know it is. Now, if you're working a 40-hour job and you're like, "Oh, I cannot sit down and write for 30 straight minutes." Well, listen, again, remember when I said, are you posting on social media regularly? Okay. Whenever you get that urge to post, take a moment and write a small sprint. Open your notes app on your phone and just write in smaller chunks. They're called sprints. Try to get a lot of words in a little time. Maybe you're sitting at a doctor's office and you're waiting. Maybe you're waiting in line for something. Um, maybe you have a moment, maybe you have a lunch break. Maybe you just take a moment sometime in your day to get like 10 minutes of alone time. Write what's on your mind. Write in smaller chunks. Because again, like I said, if you were to look at your social media and look at how much you're posting and how many words you're writing in those posts, if you were to put them all together and do a total word count, I bet you would surprise yourself in how much content you're actually writing. So try doing that in smaller sprints instead of now, if you can sit down and write for 30 minutes, that's fantastic. Okay. But if you are strapped for time and you find yourself, even if you were, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this, um, write in smaller chunks throughout the day. Okay. Write in smaller chunks throughout the day. This might even mean using another tool. Maybe you're not able to sit and type it out. Okay. Experiment with new writing tools. For example, you can open a note and start talking. Oh my God, today I was in line with some people at Starbucks. And why is it people go through the coffee line and they can't seem to order their coffee or know what they're doing? Or maybe you write about, I see the same little girl in Starbucks every time I go by after I work out. Her name is Larissa, and I see her every Wednesday morning after workout. She's always got a happy smile on her face, and I wonder how many times she's had to write down difficult names. Or maybe you want to ask her, how many unusual names do you come across in a day? I mean, I'm just rambling, but I'm putting ideas down as they come to me. John Acuff talks about that all the time, about capturing ideas. He has a notebook and he captures ideas. All right. So experiment with new writing tools. It might be that you dictate it to yourself and then copy and paste it later. Okay. Um, yeah, voice notes. It's fantastic, Stephanie. I mean, because we don't always have time to write it down or to write it down. But we have ways of capturing our creativity now because of technology. So take advantage of those things. Um, Victoria, you said, "Ooh, what if I think about all of my settings and write a descriptive essay each day, or write a piece of my character's past story each day?" See, exactly. So if you think of it in chunks, right? You think of it in pieces, you can always go back and put them together in order. Scrivener is a great tool for doing that because it allows you to write the chunks and organize them visually into like folders and chapters, right? But to capture it every day, that's important. So that's why I want to encourage you, if you're posting on social media and you're doing that regularly, or like Victoria said, look over your story and provide some backstory to characters. Think about how those characters are going to develop throughout their story arc. Are certain characters more dominant than others? Maybe you're writing a brief thing about the setting, and do your research on your settings, um, especially if they're historical in nature, right? You want to make sure that if you are writing about being in Boston, Massachusetts, you want to do your research and make sure you are writing to the area, because for people who live in Boston, they're going to read it and go, wait a minute, this is not Boston, right? Um, when you're stuck, great ideas. When you're stuck, you usually write about a character or the setting, right? And that primes the writing pumps. That gets those creative juices flowing. Because again, the goal is to get some words down every day. You can organize them later. You can take, in fact, after NaNoWriMo, I'm going to put a pitch out there to you all, of any of you who need some help organizing, structuring, looking at your story arcs, your character development, your dialogue, making sure that all that is crisp and has a great flow to it. You have the beginnings of writing your story. Okay. So this is going to be a creative exercise for us to flex together. I hope you will join me, because I want to help you learn how to write, learn how to share your content, and not just do it once, not just have that. Okay, I published a book. Yay. I know a lot of people who they'll publish a book and they keep talking about the book that they published and the book that they published. You know, one thing I noticed about John Acuff, he talks about books he published, but he's not talking about the book he published 10 years ago. It's in his catalog of books, but in fact, John's working on a new book. John is always working on the next thing. So that's what you're doing every day when you're thinking about your content, when you're polishing your content, or when you participate in something like this with me. So I hope that as we go through National Novice Writers Month, again, you're kind of on that place. You're just, and I'm ready to just kind of push you into your destiny, push you over the starting line. I know you can do this. Listen, I know I can do this. And I'm excited because I even scheduled my workload so that I could write during the month of November. I have two people that are going to be publishing their books. I have another book that's in process, but she's not publishing till next year. And usually about this time of year, I start winding down for the holidays, because I also want to have time myself to write. So I'm excited about participating in NaNoWriMo. I hope you will join me. If you want this copy of this planner, I'm happy to send it to you. I will put it up on my page here for you to be able to download or come up with your own. You know, I created this for my own visual planner. And you notice it's not in calendar form, it's in 30-day writing form, because I can get overwhelmed by looking at the actual calendar, knowing that I'm counting down the days. So this kind of puts it in a different way for me. It's like a task list, and I'm all about task lists. I love being organized and checking things off, right? So remember, don't overwhelm yourself. Let's do some prep. I'm going to be talking about this for the next 6 days. You'll see this on my posts, of just things to do to get ready. Let's get ready to have a great November. Guys, we're also going to be preparing ourselves and our hearts for the holidays, right? And that's so important, right? It's a good idea, makes it more flexible, right? I mean, I have to do that because if I look at a calendar, I'm stressed for time, and I know the time is ticking off. But if I do it this way, it's a checklist for me. And I feel better about checking things off the list, so I know I'm doing it every day, so I'm not worried about the time. I'm looking at it from a sense of I've already set myself the task to do it every day, so I'm going to make the time, and I'm gonna make sure that I get it done every day, and so I'm gonna get my 30 mugs done. I hope you follow along with me, guys. I'm going to be holding myself accountable and posting here my own progress. So what I'm gonna be working on in these next few days is planning because I'm traveling till November 6th. So I will be out of town for the first 6 days of NaNoWriMo. And then I've got to plan out the rest of my month for Thanksgiving. So in these next few days, I'm going to be talking about ways that I'm prepping. I hope you'll follow me here, and I hope it's helpful to you. Also, if you want to know more about it, or if you want to be accountable with me, let me know. Shoot me a note right here. Let me know that you want to perhaps be um, part of a NaNoWriMo accountability group, an email group. If you would like that, let me know, because I'm going to be doing this myself. I'm going to be sharing this with my folks. If you want to join that list and know about the updates for NaNoWriMo, let me know. You can just drop your email address here and with a little note letting me know, hey, I would love to join you for NaNoWriMo this year. Please send me your calendar and I'll send you the calendar and you can have that. And again, it's a way for you to plan ahead. So we have 6 days, guys. We have 6 days to get ready. Are you ready? I'm super excited. Super excited. Also, another thing I'm excited about, my book club. Can I just say how proud I am of my book club? I love these ladies. They are thoughtful. They are um, well read. They love to discuss the themes in books. We all come from different places across the country, and yet we all come together to discuss some great books. We just finished this one. I cannot recommend this book enough. Um, it was such a great time. We had such You miss book club. You can't wait to be on winter break. I know, sweetheart. We've got a good one. We've got a good one planned for December. So you're gonna love it. My sweet daughter, she is in school full time right now, working hard. And so her schedule is tough. She can't join us for book club, but she joins us during winter break and during the summer, and we have a great time. You adored the book. Listen, this was a fantastic book. Yes, Stephen, we had a great discussion last night. Shelby Van Pelt, this is her very first novel. Guys, if you want to read a book by someone who wrote her very first novel and hit the New York Times bestseller list, she, in her previous writing career, in her portfolio, when you look at it, has done a lot of what they call flash fiction. In other words, she's written pieces in 5,000 words or less, just wrote them, published them online in different, online publishing platforms, got flexed those muscles. And she wrote an incredible story called Remarkably Bright Creatures. Highly recommend this book. We just finished this in book club. We enjoyed it tremendously. And we talked last night about the methods that the author used to craft her story. This is a story where you, as the reader, you find out things and start putting together the pieces of what's going on before the characters get there. So it's an interesting device in how we learn about the characters and learn about the story. And one of the characters in the story is a giant Pacific octopus, Marcellus. And so it's a wonderful story. And I highly recommend it. And so I'm really excited because we are going to be starting a new book for November. And I'm really excited about this one because it's been on my heart for a while. This holiday season is interesting, guys. It's going to be election day. Get out and vote in your areas. If you still want to have a say about how things are done in our government, the best way to do that is to vote. You've got to vote. It's being contested. It's being challenged. It's saying that, there's fraud, that your vote isn't really being counted. Make sure it's being counted. You get out there to your precincts, your local, and you vote. Right? So we have election day coming up in the middle of NaNoWriMo. We also have the holiday season of Thanksgiving, right? And coming to the table. Do you have to come to the table with your family this Thanksgiving? And are some of those conversations a little bit difficult? Is politics off the table when you get together for holidays? Why is that? So I really wanted to pick a book that we could look at together sort of introspectively, especially given the times that we're in. And so I am excited to announce that our book pick for November is from Pastor John Pavlovitz. Um, he has gone through brain cancer surgery in this last year, but he has a really interesting perspective working in the trenches as a pastor on what's happened to our environment lately, where we are so polarized that the thought of coming together with other people who may think differently and believe differently than us, um, all of a sudden, it's us and them. They're the bad guys and we're the good guys, and we hate them and they're liars. And this is so not what I feel the the holiday seasons of joy and grace and love are all about. So, this book is called A Bigger Table: Building Messy, Authentic, and Hopeful Spiritual Community. And so we're going to be reading and what's interesting about this book is it's set up with a study guide at the back. So if you want to join me for book club this month, we're actually going to go through a book and study it, not just read it. And when we study it, we can talk about all kinds of ideas and thoughts. And so we're going to be doing this while doing NaNoWriMo. So when you come to the table, that puts you into some interesting situations with some interesting people, and the dialogue that happens, the stories that happens, the moments that are created around a table. Listen, when you sit around a table with food, with people, you can't help but have a good time, right? So we want to learn how to come to the table as genuine, authentic community. So I hope you'll join us for book club. You can sign up for that as well. So lots going on this month, and I'm excited about the books that are coming out this month. There are some great books that are being dropped this month. Um, there's 4 that I know of that I'm going to definitely be sharing with you all as they come out. Cannot wait. If you're thinking about Christmas shopping, and guys, this coming weekend, Christmas will be 8 weeks away. We're not even thinking about it, right? So we're trying to get through Halloween and get through the end of October. But if we start planning now, we can be prepared for a great holiday season. So again, so many things going on. But you know what? I can't wait to do them with you. So again, drop me a note here. Let me know. I'll be again sharing with folks in my community about NaNoWriMo, about what we're doing to prep, about how we're getting ready for that. If you want to be on the list to know, drop me a note here. Also, let me know if you are interested in participating in NaNoWriMo. If you want to be kind of being held accountable to reaching your goal. I know I want to reach mine, and I want to help you reach yours. So again, drop me a note here. Let me know how you're doing. I will be posting and sharing every day with you to encourage you to dip your toes in. National Novice Writers Month, guys. You know what? Yeah. Oh, how sweet, Victoria. Yes. Yes, we do miss you, Savannah, and can't wait for you to be back, honey. So again, guys, book club, NaNoWriMo, are you ready? Let's get ready to write. I know you can do this. So I know I'm going to be getting my stuff ready. I can't wait to join you back here next Wednesday. We'll be on day 2. So as of November 1st, it's NaNoWriMo. That's in 6 days. So let's do our prep now. Follow me along for the journey. I can't wait to see what you create. And I can't wait to share with you my writing goals and my foibles. Lord knows I'm probably going to stumble along the way. But knowing that you're there with me is going to help encourage me to reach my goal. And I want to help you encourage to reach yours. Okay? Guys, have a great day. Let's get started planning. We've got great stories to tell, and I cannot wait to hear yours. Have a great day, and I'll see you soon.